$2.8 trillion. That's Apple's market capitalization as of today. It's a staggering number, but even more mind-bending when you consider the company started in a garage and was on the brink of bankruptcy in the late 90s. But since then, the company has made quite the comeback. I've been following Apple stock for a while, and had even purchased shares back in 2005 before the iPhone was released. I've long since sold my position, a colossal mistake in retrospect, but I've gained a lot more wealth with the knowledge of how Apple has grown as a company. Applied to one's own life, this simple strategy is priceless. So, how does a company go from the brink of bankruptcy to being one of the most successful and recognized companies in history? The answer is simple. Literally. Simplicity has played a huge role in the growth of Apple, going all the way back to the release of the Apple II personal computer. Simplicity was central to the Apple II's design philosophy and user experience. A user-friendly interface and intuitive operation appealed to a broader audience, which included non-technical users. This helped to shape subsequent trends in personal computing. Though there was simplicity in their computer's hardware and software, without Steve Jobs at the company since 1985, Apple had lost its way, releasing a wide range of products that were a bit confusing for customers. Essentially, too many products to choose from equals a lack of simplicity. This translates to customers suffering from decision-making paralysis. Navigating a wide range of options leads to hesitation and an inability to make decisions. And if a choice is ultimately made, there's a bigger chance for the customer to question if they had made the best choice. This all added up to lower profits at Apple. So something had to be done. Steve Jobs returned in 1997, and he immediately set forth on the task of simplifying the product line. To do this, he eliminated many of the products they had on offer and focused instead on a few core products, which allowed the company to concentrate its resources and deliver better products and user experiences. Not only were there less products for customers to choose from, the products themselves included minimalist designs and more approachable technology. Clean lines, simple interfaces, and intuitive user experiences, which can all be seen in the iMac, iPhone, and iPad. The removal of unnecessary features and complexity from Apple's products also helped, as well as the tight integration between hardware and software. In fact, Jobs believed that simplicity and elegance came from careful consideration of every aspect, including hardware, software, packaging, and marketing. He often referred to the mantra, "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." It turns out, this simplicity that Steve Jobs insisted upon solved a huge problem for Apple's customers. So, what was this huge problem? The problem of choice. More specifically, an abundance of options from which to choose. In stores everywhere, there's an overabundance of options to choose from. An array of features, colors, and so on leads to decision-making paralysis, and after a decision is made, feelings of regret can crop up. If you have a lot of options and you choose one, you can often blame yourself that you chose incorrectly. Back in the day, there were only one or two types of jeans or shoes you could buy, only a few channels with a few shows, only a handful of movies out. Anyone scrolling through Amazon or Netflix knows there are many more options today. In fact, I know I'm not the only one who has spent more time choosing what movie to watch than the time it takes to actually watch the movie. So, it's easy to see how Apple has done its customers a huge service by reducing options. By taking their lead, every single one of us can take steps to do the same thing when it comes to every decision we have to make in life. According to the Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less by Barry Schwartz, there are 11 strategies. Number 1. Cutting down options. Basically, this is limiting the number of choices you consider, focusing only on the most relevant and important ones. This will help you avoid being overwhelmed by an abundance of options. Apple had done this on its customers' behalf. I recently purchased a new MacBook, and the ordering process was simple and quick. Step by step, I built my machine, only having a few options during each step. No analysis paralysis there. Number 2. Satisficing. This is when you settle for choices that are good enough, instead of endlessly searching for the perfect option. It's important to recognize that perfection may be unattainable, and that satisfactory choices can lead to greater satisfaction overall. Rather than spending an hour deciding where to eat, reduce your search radius, pick a place, and go. You might even be surprised that you've discovered your new favorite restaurant. Number 3, establishing personal standards. Determine your personal criteria and standards for decision making. It takes some time to think about, but it's crucial to define what is important to you and use those criteria to evaluate choices. If living a healthy lifestyle is important to you, then it would make the decisions about what kinds of food you eat easier. This also helps to cut down on options, since fast food wouldn't be a consideration. Number 4, being a chooser. Think active versus passive. By being a chooser, you take an active role in decision making, rather than feeling like a victim of circumstances. You embrace your ability to make choices and take responsibility for them. This is more of a mindset shift, but its utilization can be empowering. Number 5, embracing constraints. Acknowledge and accept the limitations and constraints that come with making choices. In fact, constraints can actually provide freedom by narrowing down options and making decisions easier. My wife recently picked out a bike helmet for our daughter and was happy that she only had 2 choices at Walmart, a girl's helmet and a boy's one. This made her decision simple. In picking out my new MacBook, I was happy that Apple created constraints in its product offerings by only giving me certain options. This idea of constraints reminds me of the famous Henry Ford quote, "A customer can have a car painted any color he wants, as long as it's black." Number 6, regret and learning. This is one I personally struggle with. Essentially, regret is an inevitable part of decision making. But once a decision is made, it's vital that we learn from past choices and use the knowledge gained to make better decisions in the future, doing our best to avoid excessive rumination over regret. Number 7, considering opportunity costs. Choosing one option often means foregoing other possibilities. It's important to recognize this and then assess the trade-offs and opportunity costs associated with each choice, focusing on what you gain rather than what you lose. A night spent studying rather than partying is a trade-off, and though you lose out on socialization and fun, it might be important to sacrifice both in order to get better grades. Number 8, evaluating expectations. We must manage our expectations by recognizing that no choice is perfect and that even with optimal decisions, there will be downsides. Avoid setting unrealistic expectations that lead to disappointment and dissatisfaction. Going with our previous example of studying versus partying, both can have downsides. The seemingly optimal decision to study that particular night might mean missing out on meeting your future spouse. Or going to the party might lead you down the path to flunking out. Number 9, letting go of what-ifs. Avoid dwelling on the possibilities you didn't choose. Once a decision is made, embrace it and let go of the what-if scenarios. Trust that the choice you made was the best one for you at the time. In the future, what-ifs might creep in, but remember that hindsight is always 20/20. Number 10, selective ignorance. It's important to develop the ability to ignore irrelevant choices and information that do not significantly impact your decision-making process. Focus on what is essential and filter out distractions. We can look back to the healthy eating example. All fast food choices become irrelevant if you're watching what you eat, though of course the temptation is always there. Number 11, cultivating gratitude. Practice gratitude for the choices you have and the opportunities they bring. Appreciate the positive aspects of the choices you make, fostering a sense of contentment and satisfaction. I don't regret the nights spent studying, since they ultimately led me on the path of entrepreneurship, which is how I ended up meeting my wife. I'm grateful for the decisions my past self had made. Using these 11 strategies can help you to navigate the overwhelming abundance of choices and find greater satisfaction by focusing on what truly matters and simplifying the decision-making process. Focusing on simplicity can do wonders for your life, just as it did wonders to Apple's bottom line. In the capable hands of Steve Jobs, it had the power to pull a company away from the brink of bankruptcy, leading it on the path to become one of history's most successful and recognized companies. In fact, Steve Jobs implemented these ideas in his own life. He wore his iconic black turtleneck with blue jeans every day to eliminate the daily decision of picking out what to wear, leaving him more mental bandwidth to make more important decisions. This is a trait that leaders such as Mark Zuckerberg have emulated. Simplification is a powerful tool that you can start using today. It can help you spend more time focusing on the things that truly matter. Imagine how successful you would be with the amount of time you'd save by avoiding analysis paralysis, or just by simply having the mental bandwidth and mindset to properly make the important decisions in life. I can't promise that you'll be a billionaire or build a trillion-dollar company, but I can almost guarantee you will be better off by embodying the mantra, less is more. Well, I've made the difficult decision to end the video here. Of course, hindsight is 20/20, and I'm sure I'll regret leaving out many things that could have been said. If you'd like to do me the favor of adding your opinion, please leave it in the comments below. Also, if you'd like me to make a video covering a certain topic, please be sure to add that as well. Thank you for watching.